Welcome to Sideline to Baseline with your host MB and K Lou, and we got the crew in the building. The Haven want all y'all to know it's about him. It's about them Niners, baby. I ain't gonna even respect it to check it. You know what? I'm gonna be nice because y'all put in every week. So Mahomes is where the heart is. We got him in the building in 13 seconds, baby. It's all. Hey, listen, all. What we probably will talk about for about an hour, but for the first at least 2 minutes, we're gonna get it to Haven. Let's go, D.
Y'all see us. Y'all see us an ugly game, Lambeau Field, special teams, defensive masterpiece. I mean, we on to the next round. Like Fred Warner said, we ain't done yet. So I'm really proud of them going up to Lambeau like that. Ugly game, couldn't do nothing on offense for the first 3 quarters. Really did nothing on offense at all. But the way they stopped Aaron Rodgers after that first drive was amazing, and that's just something special about this team. I mean, it's how you play like a Niner. I'm proud of the faithful. They are already blocking ticket sales at Ram Stadium, so they talking about the 49ers fans taking over. So, but we ready, next round.
So, DeHaven, talk to us about the fact that it's been really, at least during the playoffs, definitely a defensive led team. How have you guys been able to go out there and really stop, the opposing teams, especially like a guy like Aaron Rodgers, who a week ago they're saying he's the NFL MVP?
Yeah, first I'd like to give a shout out to DeMeco Ryans, who's our defensive coordinator. Early in the year, he had some issues, but it seems like he's adjusted. And a big move that they did was they moved our defensive end, Arik Armstead. They moved him to the inside. So if you remember back to 2019, DeForest Buckner kind of had that role, and we were struggling. This year, with obviously Buckner's with the Colts, we had to let him go for salary cap. That move of Arik to the inside, I think, really helps get the pressure with the front four and protects the back, our secondary, which isn't the strong point of our team, of the 49ers. So I think that move right there helps us get the pressure with the front four, and it protects the back end of the defense. And our linebackers are all healthy now. Fred Warner had missed a little bit of time. Aziz Shair, Dre Greenlaw were all healthy. So that front seven is a mean front seven that we have. They force turnovers, and I think just that move of being able to get that pressure with the front four and that arc switch to the inside really, really has protected the back end and made us a stronger defense.
Now, have you just bought into the as a unit? You know what I mean? Obviously, I know you ain't on the inside, but you as close as we are. You're closer than we are. Have you guys do you think the team has just bought into being a defensive team, or are they still hoping and praying that they get some more out of the offense? Because, we look at the Rams and they basically scored 30 or more. And then we're looking at y'all, and it's like,
yeah, but I think
we'll get a couple field goals. So, going into the matchup, it's an easy pick to make. It may be the wrong pick, but it's an easy pick to make, saying one team has shown they can consistently score, the other one's shown it can't. How do you get around that?
Yeah, but I think the good thing about the Niners is that they can win in so many different ways. If you remember the last game of the season when they played the Rams, we were down 17-0. Then we rolled off 27 points and outscored them. Jimmy G made the last drive. So I think, although he makes timely mistakes, I think when we have to score, I think that we can. The conditions the other night were terrible, K-Lou. That's a tough game for anyone to play in those conditions. But when we have to score, we can. So especially with the Rams, because we know them. I'm not going to say it's going to be an easy game, even though we beat them 6 times in a row. I mean, this is for all the marbles. They're hot right now. Von Miller's playing like lights out like an animal right now. So, but I think we can score if we need to. I think we can dial it up. There's times when our offense goes into a lull and we'll settle for field goals. But I think when the heat is on, I think that was evident 2 weeks ago. It was evident in the Cincinnati game. We came back and scored 25 and beat them. So I think we can, when the heat's on, I think we can score.
Well, Jason, I'm going to go right to you and ask you a San Francisco question. How will the San Francisco 49ers beat the Rams? And I think you're going to pick the Rams, but talk to us about how you feel like they could actually pull it out. What would they have to do?
I'm going to I'm going to quote the great prophet Herm Edwards: protect the football, take the football away, run the football, stop the run. It's exactly the San Francisco 49ers this year are the 2007 New York Giants.
Wow.
All throughout the year, nobody had them as a playoff team. Mostly because
Right.
they had a losing record just about the entire season until, towards the end.
Right.
But that's not an insult at all. That's just a team that galvanized. And remember when Tom Coughlin made that call, hey, we're not going to rest starters. We're going to go for it to try to take New England's unbeaten season. San Francisco had to do it because they had to do it. But playing, it's almost like you get some built-in losses to where your team is on that ledge every week. It just seems like every game the 49ers in the playoffs have had more urgency because they've been playing playoff games for 5-6 weeks now. So I think they're going to come out. LA is going to have a lot to say about it, but I think that they're going to come out and just play solid and not make the mistakes. I think they've got the ability to play more soundly than Tampa Bay on defense. I know Tampa Bay has a better defense personnel-wise, but I think San Francisco. I think San Francisco. Oh, you don't think they have a better personnel-wise defense?
They has a better, defense personnel. I don't think so.
Some of the names.
They got a better run defense, but I just think with the pressure that we can get, who does Tampa have like a Bosa? You want to say Shaq Barrett, or who do they have?
Yeah,
like
but
they won the Super Bowl last year with their two ends. So
I
don't know.
I
don't know. Our team were played up last year. You see where we are with our ends back. With our top end back. So
Bosa really makes your line work, though.
Or at least DeHaven, at least it's a good measuring stick. Maybe y'all are a step better, but you're gonna get the same kind of play. How about that?
Okay.
Double A, I'm gonna go to you. Do you think, in your fashion, 13 seconds, do you think the time may just run out on San Francisco and they're just playing well right now? And when I say well, DeHaven really is excited, but he's seeing a ton of mistakes being made out there. So we're saying well because they're winning. But if these games, as ugly as they've been played, if the first playoff game would have went that way for them and they didn't beat Dallas and the score was in reverse, we probably see some heads rolling. So has time, do you think time is running out?
No, I think it might be the other. If you think about it, they're winning in spite of themselves, and they're hot at the end of the year. I mean, I didn't realize they beat the Rams six in a row, and I got to tell you that Rams defense, they came a heartbeat away from Brady, to being Brady again. I mean, that's where heads might have really rolled. But if you look at the San Fran Green Bay game, the defense won. Green Bay's offense didn't, right? San Fran's offense did nothing, but they won the third part of the game, which, people forget about, and that'll win you a playoff game and maybe two, and that's special teams. They blocked a punt for a touchdown, and they blocked that field goal. If they run the ball and, Kittles and Debo, I mean, they match up with the sort of the Rams, Coop and whatever their other weapon is, OBJ or whoever it might be at this point. I don't know. I think that game's up for grabs, and there probably might be more 49er fans in that Rams arena than LA fans. So
definitely.
So
definitely. And don't let that be something to talk about. I mean, come on, guys.
No, it's LA.
I mean, San Francisco has a ton of history mixed into there. Those fans are there no matter what, and they're not feeling the stadiums when they're down. Now, it ain't that.
No, that's a bandwagon town.
Don't care that much, but you got decades of families that are passing on season tickets and stuff like that. So I don't want us to read too much into that.
Now I'll go back and say this. Early in the year, I thought there would be an LA team in an LA Super Bowl. I didn't know if it was the Rams or the Chargers. So, the fact that the 49ers have beat them 6 in a row, that's got to be in the back of their head. But, if there's ever a time to break a streak, if I'm the Rams, that's all you got to put on the chalkboard, man. They beat you 6 in a row. Put up or shut up at this point.
So MB, the Rams, DeHaven and enlighten us on the 49ers have beaten the Rams 6 times in a row.
Yep.
And so obviously the 49ers have been winning ugly, but most importantly, they've been winning. I just asked Double A, does he think the time has run out? He doesn't believe it. Jason went to Herm Edwards to talk about how San Francisco could beat the Rams, even though I think he's favoring the Rams, correct?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going with the Rams as well, just so I can be in contrast of the Haven. But because the Haven, old school, I'm a San Francisco fan growing up. How about that?
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. But so MB, give us your knowledge on this subject. Obviously the Rams have beat the Super Bowl champs. I don't think we're talking about that enough. That's a huge accomplishment. Beating Brady, beating Gronk, beating those 2 DNs we talked about, and that great defense that shut Kansas City down last year. I don't think we're talking about that enough. But MB, give us your thoughts on what possibilities could happen this weekend.
Oh yeah. I mean, just the fact, like you say, Shanahan, and just the familiarity with Shanahan and McVay, and just the obviously Shanahan got the upper hand with 6 in a row. You definitely got to play that in. And then last time they played them at the Rams home stadium, but it was almost felt like a high school game in the sense of half of the fans were 49er fans, Mm-hmm. So I know from McVay's standpoint, from a Ram fan, I'm like, hey, you season ticket holders, y'all better hold on to your tickets. You know what I'm saying? Like, come show the support, get the crowd going on, just because that, to me, played a part in it as well, if you say that. But I think overall, I mean, I don't know, 6 in a row, I think the streak may end. San Francisco, I mean, it's they're just getting it done. And the thing that scares me, and it scares me with both teams, is the quarterback. So it's almost which quarterback makes the least amount of states is going to win the game. If everybody else play their game, I think which quarterback makes the least amount of mistakes that's the team that's gonna win the game. And right now, I would. It's like they're going against each other, because one thing I like about San Francisco, let me say positive about them, is that Shanahan commitment on running the ball. And I think just the fact that he won't get away from the running game no matter what, I think that's a big plus, because you're taking the pressure off the quarterback. I think that's one of the lessons he definitely learned from when he was the OC at the Falcons and was up on the 49ers. I mean, was up on the New England Patriots, that he didn't commit to the run game. You see right now, he understands who this team is identity offensive-wise. And so you see him, he goes to that smash mouth. He goes to, okay, let me run the ball. He goes to doing those things, understanding that he's going to have at least 1 or 2 brain farts from Jimmy G. And I think you can definitely minimize that by being committed on running the ball, whether it's with AKY back with Deebo Samuel, or, getting in Elijah Mitchell, consistently run the ball. And trying to take the edge. So I see them doing that to slow the Rams down. But then with the Rams, same thing, quarterback issue, and they've been running the ball, and I was surprised they kept trying to run the ball against Tampa Bay, just because I was like, man, there's no contest. But he understands what he's dealing with, run the ball, take the pressure off of it. But I think offensively with Cup and OBJ now getting in his flow, and then Hillsby, they just got a little bit more consistent offense. So I'm gonna just go that way.
Oh wow! So and this is a question for everybody. Obviously, Matthew Stafford was brought there for this moment, for this time, to get them over the hump. Is the pressure on him, or is it on Jimmy G that everybody's like, ready to cut him after every throw?
Well, Stafford.
It's on Stafford, I think.
Stafford. They don't have any future first round picks. They're all in now. So it's like the Heat. You bring all these stars together. It's on Stafford to really, show us something. And he showed us something on yesterday. But I don't know. I don't know what was up with the Bucs defensive game plan yesterday.
Yeah.
I know Bowles was interviewing for a couple of jobs, so he might have been distracted. But their defensive game plan, once they started blitzing him, trying to get the pressure on him, I thought Bowles usually blitzes a lot. That was evident in the Super Bowl. And I think if you get pressure on Stafford, he might make that mistake that you want. And I just think they didn't get enough yesterday.
That's what got him, though, was that blitz. That was that slot blitz that left that safety on Kupp that they run all the time. So really, they kind of lived by the sword and died by the sword, because that blitz at that last play, that they had ran that all game and it had worked. So
let me clear that up. It wasn't a slot blitz. I know initially they was saying that it was a zero blitz, and not everybody blitzed. Like
right.
Wow.
Lavonte David, he didn't blitz. I don't know what happened, but he did not blitz, because I'm like, what are they doing? Because I saw the middle field safety run by the Winfield, and I'm like, where is he going? Like, you got a middle field guy and then when I looked at it, it was a zero pressure, and not everybody blitz.
Yeah,
so when you go zero pressure like that, and
that don't work.
That's why he said, even when you look at the remarks that Stratford said at the end, he was like, this I thought it was 2 men, but it went to zero. And he said, you normally don't throw that throw at all. It's just a decoy route. But because of what happened, boom, it was right there. And that was so that to me is like, why do that?
That's even worse.
Yeah. Like, but especially make them earn it, make them go down the field basically with the time and stuff. You got the momentum. And he was going for the juggler, man, and it caught up with him. And it's a shame, man. It's a shame.
It's not always he's going for the jugular. It's like, why would you want Tom Brady to have the ball in overtime? You want him to win you the game. You don't want you at that point. He just brought you back from 17 down or whatever it was.
The momentum shift.
Yeah.
You got it. You got it.
Yeah,
And just go, man. But you live by the sword, die by the sword. So that's what it was. It was a zero pressure. Because
if they'd have had one less second, it wouldn't have worked. So
yeah,
maybe
because he went for the deep when I was like, wow, and the safety, he didn't have a shot,
So guys, we talked about early on the Bengals, and I kind of told you guys up front, they playing with house money, man. Like, there's no pressure.
Yep.
Like, whether they go in the first playoff game and get blown out, it still was a great season. But we're seeing some maturation going on. We're seeing some guys that may understand what they playing for, and maybe becoming quiet as is kept, the most dangerous team in the playoffs. So, how you feel, Jason? We'll start with you. How they win this game and win it so ugly, but a tough playoff game that usually it takes a leader, vet leadership at the quarterback position or at a corner or receiver or somewhere that gets teams like this over the hump. We're seeing young guys do.
Well, it just seems like, everybody's already said it, but like the moment never gets too big for Joe. Like, and what that leads to and other people is force something you shouldn't, because you get that Heisman moment in your head. You're like, I'm gonna show them, kind of like what Ryan Tannehill did to lose the game. He shouldn't have thrown that ball. That wasn't even a good look. It just wasn't. There was nothing good about that. And at best, he should have just taken the ball for 3 yards, got tackled, figured it out. But
listen, they know what they paid for with Ryan Tannehill, so I ain't gonna blame him for nothing.
But what's crazy was that throw to AJ Brown earlier in the corner.
He supposed to know how to hand the ball off. Period.
Yeah. I think Ryan just remembered that throw that Double A mentioned, was like, I'm the best. I'm the best.
I saw that throw. I'm like, whoa.
Man, I think Joe Burrow, I don't think they're gonna win. I think they might get up a little bit in that game. They might get 10 points up. They might look good at some point, but I think that their best chance is going to have to get a little ugly. I think they could possibly beat Kansas City if they beat them like they beat Tennessee. If they try to play them like Buffalo played them, they ain't no shot.
No.
The Haven, is this a bye week?
No, I like the Bengals. I kind of agree with Jason. It can't be a shootout. Tennessee, I mean, Kansas City doesn't have the defense that Tennessee has. If you remember, Burrow got sacked, what, 9 times?
9 times.
Yeah. And I know, Buffalo went up and down on KC's defense. So I think the Bengals could score a little bit more against Kansas City, and Honey Badger might be out. But I don't think it's a bye week, but I think KC takes it. I think Tennessee made a lot of coaching mistakes, a couple 3rd and 1s, the 4th and 1 that they went for, and they just ran it right up. You got Henry. I know that's a smart play, but maybe on that 3rd down, do a play action or something if you're going to go for it on 4th. I think Tannehill tried to take it up the middle, and the turnovers killed Tennessee, obviously, as Tannehill did, as Jason mentioned. But I don't think it's a bye week. Because I think the Bengals can score on Casey's defense, but I think right now Mahomes is Michael Jordan of the NFL. That's the bottom line.
And Cincinnati beat them. Cincinnati beat them a couple weeks ago, but that was at home.
That was at home.
Double-A. So obviously, the Tennessee was able to get Derrick Henry back, and try to do a little bit of what they're known for. Was last year just they caught lightning in a bottle and it's over with now? They're going to have to figure out how to play real football instead of handing the ball off? Or the Bengals are just here to stay?
I talked about it last week. They remind me of that 91 Cowboys team that was a year before they started to peak. And they're right now, as you said earlier, they're playing with house money. I think offensively they actually match up. Not as well as the Bills, but I think they'll hold their own. I mean, they're not facing the Tennessee defensive front, that's for sure. So I'll say someone on this show to go unnamed called that KC defense trash, if I remember right. So
I that all every year,
right? So the question to me is, if we're looking at it, scientifically or just without the emotion, the home field advantage of KC, does the Bengals D, do they have a chance, that front four, to get to Mahomes and put pressure on him and then ruin that timing? I mean, that's where this game's going to be decided, because if you can't stop them, you're not going to beat them. But if you can slow them up with Mixon and with those Bengals weapons, I think they got a chance.
MB, so are you watching the Super Bowl film all week, this week, 4 times a day for a game plan to stop Kansas City if you the Bengals?
Yeah. I mean, you said watching what all week?
The Super Bowl.
Tampa Bay last year.
Tampa Bay last year, Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, you watching everything, but last year, I mean, especially, their kryptonite last year was the offensive line. They had the injuries on the offensive line, so you're not looking at that. But I mean, you could just start. I mean, they start with the game they played them this year, and they beat them 34-31, and get from that and look at all losses, look at everything, and just try to put something together. I think offensively, positive Cincinnati got is that they definitely they're not at Buffalo at that level, but what I like about them, they're more balanced than Buffalo in the sense of they got a running game. Mixing, they can get that going, and when your styles make matchups, and they also, so not only do they have a running game, but then they got a complete offense. I mean, I like what you said, Double-A, about the Cowboys and that 91 team. And as far as offensively, you got poor man Mixon. He running the ball. He scored a long touchdown last game, this past weekend as well. You got Chase. You got Higgins. You got the tight end CJ. So they got some offense that's gonna put some issues with Kansas City, and they could slow the pace down because they can't consistently run the ball, and they need to run the ball just because you give up 9 sacks, man. You got to slow it down because Kansas City styles make matchup, and if you're gonna pass the ball all the time, man, they're gonna get you because you put something on film. Where now with Tennessee, not only they was winning the one-on-one pass rush matchups, but also from a scheme standpoint, when they did blitz, they had some free hitters as well. So, and Kansas City, man, they love to blitz. They love to do zero pressure. They love to do everything. So if you show that on film, they're going to go ahead and expose it. It's almost like one thing that came out positive for Kansas City is that Mike Weber and Tennessee staff, they gave them a cheat sheet on how to beat their protection, especially, and they could duplicate it, maybe not individual talent, but just the blitzing portion of it, they can get that done. So anyway, I think the run is over, but I still think it's going to be a good game. Just the fact that Cincinnati can run the ball. they can run the ball. They can run the ball consistently. They can get that done, and so that could slow Kansas City offense down.
I haven't seen a guy like that guy Hamilton in a long time playing for Tennessee.
Which what are you talking about?
That D tackle or whoever that was. That guy was
Simmons.
Yeah, Simmons. I'm talking. He reminded me of Sapp. I mean, he was just blowing people up. I hadn't seen that in a long time.
Yeah, Tennessee reminding is like the Niners of the AFC. Yeah. They did the same type of teams, and unfortunately, in the AFC, that didn't get it done against a better, super quarterback.
Buffalo had quite a bit of rushing yards, obviously mostly by Allen. But how much do you think Honey Badger being out is why Davis kept being wide open?
God.
Oh yeah, I mean, you with Kansas City, that's one thing they can't afford on defense. They can't afford no injuries. Early in the season they had an injury and they bounced back. And heard K-Lou talk about them, but they actually finished the second half season with #1 scoring defense. But you can't afford. They don't have enough playmakers. You can't afford to be minus the Honey Badger,
Exactly.
and you look at it with Buffalo, right? I mean, like they were doing. I mean, Kansas City was doing a good job to at some point. I mean, because Diggs, they took away Diggs, they took away what's the other receiver, Emmanuel Sanders, right? Mm-hmm. But that what's the name? They let the other dude go. They just ain't got enough fire. They ain't got enough weapons, to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all jumped the gun, and the greatest game, questionably. The greatest game ever to be played in the NFL was played, and I actually saw
it. You stayed awake.
Awake for me. Amazing. Like, I don't even want to get into it, but bottom line, guys, I think we saw something special. Let's start with Josh Allen, because obviously, everyone's going to talk about Mahomes. He's the go-to guy. He's the, $500 million man and all that great stuff. So he's going to get majority of the accolades, obviously, because he won. But you got to figure Josh Allen, like, it's been a long time since I seen a quarterback put a whole team on his back. I mean, you can argue you watch that every week when Michael Vick was playing in Atlanta. You also can say that Cam has some times. Obviously, Dan Marino, but if you want to go back in the day, used to put the whole Dolphin team on his back every week. John Elway, when he was losing before he even won it all, you can say something like that. But this guy, man, I didn't know that was in him, and he's running the ball like for real, like not getting out of bounds, all that kind of stuff. He dug in his head and actually punished one of the safeties, put Ward out the game. So DeHaven, I'm gonna let you take it, man. Let's talk about Josh Allen and his man. Does he have a ceiling?
I don't know. He could do everything. I was trying to think of comparison. There is no. I don't think there are comparison. It's a mixture. It's like a mixture of Ben, but more athletic with John Elway's type of arm and the way he throws with velocity. I mean, he's really a special talent, and that's going to be the battle in the AFC for the next. If he can stay healthy, K. Because you're right, he does take some. Even though he can handle it, he's big, but he does take some hits. But if his athleticism mixed with his arm talent and the arm angles and how he runs, I mean, it's extremely special. I hate that they had to match up in that divisional round like that, but I think AA, somebody wrote in the group text, that's the next Brady and Manning, for the next 10, 15 years. I mean, at least 10 years, I think we got AFC. But Josh Allen, yeah, he's great.
Jason, go ahead.
It just seemed exactly like that. That's why I was texting in that, like, it just seemed like they got their new Brady Manning. I mean, point for point, stride for stride. But I think the benefit now, we don't have to have – I mean, Sean McDermott's great. Andy Reid's great. Gosh, we don't have to have the but how much of it is Belichick part to this? Because we just saw two quarterbacks. I mean, when Kansas City went and scored, we're like, that's it. And then Josh Allen was like, no, it ain't. And just,
I knew Josh Allen was the deal when Cheetah scored that quick. I'm like, they gave him too much time. They gave him a minute.
Yeah. Yeah, he was up there going, no, we're good. We got 3 timeouts. Did you see him turn around and immediately go 3 timeouts? Like,
I was like, whoa.
that reminded me, not to be too much of a homer, but during our almost perfect season in 2015, when Carolina went and played the Giants, and they came the closest to beating us all year because they scored with like a minute and a half left, and Cam got up from one knee and went through, like 2 timeouts, I think, but he did the exact same thing. And so whenever you got somebody that was like, okay, well, our turn now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you could just see that neither of them ever got defeated. And then Mahomes, he was sitting on the bench, and he saw them score, and he just put his helmet up. Yeah. He was like, these guys keep trying me. I don't know what, like, you know, so
go be the Grim Reaper.
Well, I don't want to go to that yet, Jason. Let's stay with Josh Allen. Double A, take it away. What do you see in Josh Allen?
Well, I'll say this, and I don't know how much it makes a difference, but the game's obviously slowed down to him for this year compared to even last year, and hopefully our old Miami quarterback's having a part of that. Ken Dorsey. We hope to see him down in Miami, but we know he ain't leaving the NFL at this point. So what do I see with Josh Allen? I see the AFC East is going to have nightmares for a long time with this guy because he's there for the next 10 years. They go get him another running back. Mm-hmm. Who knows what's going to happen? Because if you take the wear and tear of him having to run and he just has to run for the first down when it matters, he's going to have a nice long career. You know, I don't know if he reminds me of it's like Bledsoe with wheels. But Bledsoe never had that. I didn't feel like he had that accuracy.
His accuracy
is. I mean, he threw that guy through almost the back of the end zone that last touchdown.
Right.
I was like, whoa. So
and where he put it on Gabriel at the end, where he had to kind of reach out of the end zone to get it right over. Like, my goodness, Allen. I never saw that last year. Last year was just big arm.
Yeah,
that was it. Overthrow everybody.
Right.
I don't know where you got the precision from, but it showed up.
Yeah. No, he worked with it because he wasn't accurate coming out of Wyoming. He's worked on that.
Right.
Raw. He was raw.
Yeah.
One quarter, one running back. That's all they need.
MB, let's talk about the drive that left. It was a minute left. I think Jason mentioned that. And I counted MB. He was the reason for 4 first downs in a row. Mm-hmm. And about 2 of those first rounds were broken plays where you like, that's a sack. No, it ain't. What? And then even the quarterback run up the middle when he hurt Ward, that was another first down. Mm-hmm. That was he put the entire team on his back. Because I'm hearing the commentators kept hollering about Stephon Diggs. He didn't catch a ball to the 2-point play.
Right.
He tackled the fan. That was his big stat.
So yeah. And then we're watching Michael Vick quarterback lead plays or not even lead, but outside runs. So zone
sweeps,
powers or whatever. It really wasn't no power. It was more.
No, it was a sweep.
Yeah. And it was. I'm like, this is called, and y'all done called it like 5 times tonight.
Right.
Take it away, B.
Right. No, I mean, they definitely, when you talk about their offensive coordinator was Dabo. What's his name?
Dabo O'Reilly or something like that.
Yeah. He's definitely taking advantage of his skill set. I mean, and like somebody like DeHaven said, I mean, when he came in the league, accuracy was the issue, but he has steadily been improving year by year, getting better, and they have been doing a great job of surrounding him around talent as well, giving him the parts that he needs. And like I said, even for me, like I wish they would even commit to running the ball more. And you saw them get the running back involved in the first, and script them in the first 15 plays. Singleton, they was trying to get it to him and get him going. I think when you take add some running to a committed running game to his game, it's just going to get better and better. And you're right. Wow. He did that. And, the other receiver had a career day with 4 touchdowns, but Diggs was on the milk carton. I mentioned earlier Sanders. He had 1 or 2 catch. He was doing it on his own. He didn't do it. He didn't do it with the traditional supporting cast that you're so used to. he did it with something else, but they definitely showcased his ability because him running the ball, him moving the chain, and like you say, he was running like old Dante Culpepper, the one side that 4 for 4.
There you go. That's the exact.
He was looking for contact. You know what I'm saying? He was looking for it. He wasn't like you say. He ran in the middle. He wasn't trying to slide. He wasn't. He wanted it, man. He was like he like I remember Joe Judge came in and they talked about initially how he represented the blue collar workers of New York City. But shoot, man, Josh Allen, that game, he represent what they call the mafia, the build mafia over there.
Yeah.
I mean, just the toughness and stuff that he played with. But to me, he's a guy that's getting better and better. And they, like I said, they're doing a great job of surrounding him around talent and support so he can showcase his ability. So I wish the Ravens look at that situation and do the same for Lamar Jackson because he needs help. He needs help.
Hey, AB said he wants to play with Lamar today.
Who said? Oh, AB. AB trying to get a job.
Yeah. So and finally, guys, Mahomes. I talked about having a minute left, but which one of us thought with 13 seconds left that it was? So you saying we got a chance? Like, which one of us thought that? First of all, I was like, put the ball on the ground. I still don't understand that, MB.
Yeah.
Oh, you talking about when they kick it off?
You're right.
Yeah.
But
put the ball on the ground because the returner it will not return it unless it gets short because you're going to advance the ball further, guaranteed. Yeah. And then, so I was like, they didn't put it on the ground? Because, you probably set at least 8 seconds putting it on the ground.
No doubt.
And so I was like, well, maybe they got a quick deep ball or something like that, get out of bounds and kick it. That's not what they did. They had it. So we talked about last week. Remember we talked about, and I said the problem with that call by the head coach, I think it was last week or the week before, was the fact that we practiced. It was the quarterback that didn't put the ball on the ground.
Oh, you're talking about Dallas.
Dak, yeah.
And I said the problem I had with that is we practice situations so much, it's like ingrained in you. That's what that felt like watching Kansas City. Like everybody, like, oh yeah, 13 seconds. We do this all the time. It's kind of like I don't know if y'all watch pickup NBA type NBA games.
That's what I felt like I was watching
in the summer, like when they're just playing pickup and some regular guys, the NBA guys are out there. They always the guy who's out there kind of running the pickup game is like all the time 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So they're still got shot clock mentality and they're playing pickup. That's what I felt like was like Kansas City does in practice or something. They must be doing stuff like that, like 15 seconds on the clock, 11 seconds on the clock, take it away, Double A. What did you see?
I think this is the weekend of it won't get the storyline, but the special teams made the difference in the San Fran Green Bay game, and I think it made the difference here because that not squibbing the kick on with 13 seconds to go or whatever it was. But I go back, there was a few series before. I couldn't believe they punted to Tyreek Hill. If I see him standing back there,
out of bounds.
That ball's going out of bounds, man. So there's some serious coaching brain farts going on, not Jimmy G farts. So that to me was that's unconscionable, man. They breathed inside. You can't relax until the 0-0, and
Yeah, that's
MB them fault, and the defensive coordinator's like, I don't care who back there, we gonna get.
No, ain't no shame in my game. I'd have punt that ball right out of bounds.
Hey, MB, that's the only time you see arrogant with some defensive coordinators like, we don't care what they come out there with. We in Dublin, you got him. Mike, you got him.
Nobody had him.
You see Devin Hester back there and back in the day. Did you kick him? At a certain point, you said, no way.
Well, I mean, Devin Hester will be in the Hall of Fame for the same reason.
Right. Cheetah's on his way. You know that.
Hey, Devin should have never made it. Not because he ain't do it, but because of the idiots that kept kicking it to him.
Right.
and Devin never really took off as a receiver. So it's like,
No.
man, you got one thing to not do for the guy. Just one. When he's on offense, don't worry about it. But just don't kick to him. And that's like next level arrogance. You know, maybe
he was supposed to be he was supposed to be a DB, Jason.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, even more. Oh man. So that just,
But
or Chris.
Out of bounds. I mean, you saving yourself from getting scolded on.
Yeah,
Exactly.
What defense was the Bills playing in those 13 seconds though? Y'all probably
What defense?
Yeah, like
it was
that ball.
Huh?
It looked like a cover 2 to me, but I didn't rewind it or anything. But it was off. It was so far off, and you're supposed to do it like that. But man, like, I mean, the last 13 seconds, I don't really think they did anything wrong. Like, because you don't want to get that thing over the top.
Yeah.
That's what happened at Tampa Bay Rams.
To me, go ahead. I'm sorry, Double. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, it looks soft, but when I see Kelsey running up the middle on a seam with I mean, are you kidding me?
Which one was it? Because I'm trying to think. Because it's a couple plays. I'm trying to figure out. Okay, what are they doing? Because they went to what we call a tray set, and the tight end Kelsey was backside by himself, and he just ran like a skinny post.
Yeah,
in the corner. Was that the 13 seconds?
No,
that was the second
that
one.
wasn't the 13.
The first play was to Tyreek. Was the one over the middle.
To Tyreek.
But
That's right.
That one to Kelsey, it didn't look like they were in cloud coverage because they had 2 safeties, but then both of the corners were protecting the sideline still, but they had timeouts.
That's cover 2.
Yeah,
I know what I'm saying, but they had it. But
Kelsey was the second one. It was the second throw.
So it was the second throw, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So the second throw, right, that was bad because the corner was on there. He was covering the numbers.
Yeah.
He got no other threat.
Right.
So squeeze down on the tight end. You know they're gonna look for him.
But where he put the ball.
If you look at him on film, K-Lou, he was covering the numbers. He wasn't covering nobody.
Wow.
You know, he had no other threat. So I'm like, I'm gonna play into this guy, and I mean, that's the one that threw me off because I was like, they went through a trace set, they went through an upside back in with him, and so they knew what coverage they was gonna put him in, get him in, and then all he did was a skinny post, and the corner was so far off of him, the safeties was back deep.
Let's not take nothing away from Kelsey because I feel like we're taking something away from him when saying that because he stuck him outside and forced him to the number and then came back. So the only thing I think he could have did differently was treat it like matchup.
Partner. Nah. You look at the film. That joke ain't stick. The corner was so far away from that dude. I was like, what is he doing? He covering numbers. Because we used to tell our guys, hey, just because you in zone defense don't mean you cover match up with that guy. Have some self-awareness. And especially with Mahomes, you talk about accuracy. He don't need a lot of window, So at least be better body position. If you look at the film, look at it on YouTube, pull it up, and you'll see.
Honestly, it looks like Kelsey wasn't originally supposed to run that route because I'm leaning a little bit more. I'm leaning a little bit more to what Kevin is saying. It looked like he did kind of stick him inside, and then Mahomes just couldn't believe what he was seeing because the way he was lined up, that looked like that was a quick out to maybe even the sideline to Kelsey, but he just saw his leverage. I mean, because there's no reason that guy should have been standing to the left of him like that, and he just kind of stuck it in. I mean, there was a shoulder movement.
Yeah. But why is there one guy there? That's what I want to know.
Let me tell you, it's certain formations, right? When that was a trade formation, nub side, backside. The Patriots used to do that a lot, so it identifies the coverage because you go through your slot coverage formation. You understand what you're doing. So to me, for them to go to that route, they knew what type of coverage they was going to get in that situation, especially 2 minutes. And to me, it was that's what it was. It clear because you see the same thing in college. They do the same thing in college. They go nub side, backside. Because based on that personnel and that formation, it shows your hand. That 3x1 set is going to show your coverage, show your hand exactly what you're in, especially the corner stand backside. So then now they know corner stand backside, it's a zone defense. This is what da-da-da-da. And so you know exactly where you're going through. Yeah, pull it up.
So now, yeah.
So look at
that
the corner.
See, look at that.
Look at the corner.
Olay!
From behind.
Look at the corner.
Hopefully they show it from behind. You'll get a better picture.
They went to that formation. That's one of those telltale formations that you got to be in. Look how corner by the numbers.
Yeah, look. It looked like. Tell me that doesn't look like Kelsey wasn't supposed to stick out, but just knew.
He what?
That to me.
All right, MBU was right.
You say what?
You were right, MB.
You see what I'm saying?
He aligned wrong. He was beat from the beginning. His alignment took him completely out of the play right there. That's what MB talking about.
All he did was run a skinny pose. But this is what I'm saying, based on this formation, because it's a nub side or slot set formation, whatever you want to call it, it shows the cover, it shows the hand of what they're in. And so he's got two high safety. He's covering nobody but that numbers. That's who he cover. They might as well put a jersey on that number out there. That's what he covering.
So basically, your point's just that it was just the alignment from the beginning and nothing else.
Right.
He covered
the alignment or he's gonna stay where he was. Don't move.
Yeah, I mean, we weren't.
He even got wider. And look at
what MB he gave him like he was coming out there, made him loosen up even more. But his alignment would have took all that away.
Roll it back.
I mean,
he backed up from the beginning. He didn't even threaten him. Usually the receivers you talking about step on his toes, right?
Right there.
He looked at him. He looked him.
Yeah, he lifted him a second.
He started getting wide right now. Look. Look at it. Like he didn't have to do that.
He hadn't been that wide open since the playground.
And what I'm saying, if you go back to the wide angle, like you will see pre-snap read, you see the two high safeties. So it's already that formation will show what coverage you in. You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Cause it's the two high safeties back there. It's like a Tampa 2. So
we agree on that.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Caleb.
No, I just said we agree on that. That's all.
Yeah, I was saying with that formation, show your head. So this corner's got no other threat. He needs to squeeze down. Because look at the corner up top. Look at that receiver with a cut split. He understands. Let me relate to that guy. You see that?
Yeah.
Right.
But this guy, he's so far away, and this is Kelsey.
Right.
This is like your number. This is the number one receiver for their offense, or at least 1A.
But MB, I'm telling you, they, like I said earlier, they playing it soft still.
Right.
Like, no, you can play it soft.
The mentality is, and remember now, this is always, I'm sure, something you had to teach all the time. Was just because we're protecting a lead don't mean we're just giving stuff up. And that's really what it looks like. Like, catch it in front of me, I'm going to make the tackle.
Defense prevents you from winning. Always has.
Like they were basically trained, you ain't giving up the sideline, because he's just like, don't let him cut L out and catch a ball and get a free 5 for 3 seconds.
They had a timeout. What's the difference?
Yeah. Well, I know, but that looks like what he's
right.
that looks like what he's defending.
So K-Lou, what I'm saying, we coached this situation. That's why I say he was covering the numbers, because that's a lot of times what people do. The corners do, they cover. No, you want to match to the guy. So
correct.
So I see the corner up top, even with that clutch split by the receiver, because usually you condense to expand. That corner up top was just lying outside shoulder of that guy. You know what I'm saying? Right there, look. That guy's on the number. That corner's up top. It's the same.
He's right on top of him. Yeah, he's on his
outside. And this guy
outside
at the bottom should be the same way.
Right.
The same way. And he's beat by his alignment. So that's what I'm saying. He's covering that number. He ain't covering this guy. When you playing zone, you got to understand, look, I want to match up within the zone, and you got to understand the situation. They come out of this.
We both know, too, you don't play. Situation dictates as well how you play it. He just played it way too soft.
Yeah.
Right. I think he understands that. And even the guy up top, if you watch him, he's immediately off and running off, MB.
The guy up top.
I know we can't see it, But the guy up top is immediately running off, and if this is true too,
he could have ran. He could have thrown outside.
You know what I'm saying? Like they could have got it to him too, to his same receiver that he related to on purpose, but he still saw. I wish we could see that angle. Look,
you see he could have gone to him as well. They were both wide open. 3 of them.
It seemed like he was counting on like you ain't getting to the side.
I'm telling you, it's the mistake that defenses make all the time. The situation, let's just protect it, let's prevent it. And you're right, MB. I'm not denying that. I'm just saying, like, you got 2 guys on the right side
wide open.
The ball could have went through too as well.
Yeah,
and especially to your guy that you said that's doing it the right way. He's still relating, but you see how high he is relating to it?
Because the difference with him, K. Lewis, is he's got a deeper threat. He's got to be deepest guy, because that guy can easily run it out. So he's got to go ahead and be deeper than that. He's got 2 right here. He's got a threat of 3 guys initially over there, right? And so he lined up on the outside. And so he's got to understand, if somebody come out, he's got to be able to relate to that guy. So he's got to be deepest guy, because that guy can stop in front of him. That guy can try to get behind him, right? So this guy, what I'm saying, this guy about backside, we used to coach this up all the time, because what people will naturally do, they'll naturally cover a spot on the field. You know,
because backside 3x1 anyway, you want to hook, you want to be super close, darn near man.
You have no other threat.
You darn near man on the backside.
So you can loosen up over this guy. All I was saying, let me say it this way. Maybe he was just beat by alignment. His initial alignment was terrible, and then he made it worse on movement. He even got wider, and then that's all it was. It became just a little skinny post route, right? And boom, it's right there. And they playing cover 2, because this linebacker, he's got Tampa 2. The middle linebacker, that's the guy. That's the guy in the middle. If you look at the guy on the red line, that's the middle linebacker right there. That's Edmonds. This is Tampa 2. See, that's 58. That's 49. So the safeties are deep. You know?
Right, they're back here.
Right. So just my coaching point with him, hey, your initial lineman got you in trouble. Relate tighter to this guy.
How'd y'all like that football 101 with Michael Barrett?
That was excellent.
He's got all offseason to think about that one.
I'm saying we've seen it.
Would you say they were in the right?
I was like, oh man, we had to get our guys, because those guys that cover a spot on the field, as opposed because it's zone. Even though it's zone, you like, no, understand, match up within the zone. Understand the situation.
And why I gotta agree with MB, especially because it's 3x1. It's just
right.
I mean, it literally, guys. There's a lot of teams that 3x1 look, they're doing this, and it's man. Period. Like, you ain't even covering you don't have a zone anymore. Backside.
It's like they played it as if Kansas City had no timeouts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they because otherwise, I mean, really, what would you be like, cover 3 then? Because I mean, you gotta have to have something, you know. Otherwise,
no. I mean, the call to me, the call is a good call, because last time they was in 2-man the drive before, and they got beat. You know, so 2-man they was matched up, and they got beat inside by the backside. It was the same back. It was the cheetah at that X position that
went underneath,
and he beat him underneath.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? So it was 2-man, and it got beat. So I'm good with the call. It's just you just gotta tweak it to understand, because right now you gotta understand. Right now they got 1 play left. They got 2 timeouts, right? And you gotta understand that I know on TV we make it easy. They tell you where they gotta go to get the field goal, right? But you gotta understand what the situation is and relate tighter to that guy.
All right, yo. So this first down though.
Yeah.
Somebody better break the bank for Eric Bieniemy. First down, look.
Boom.
Do you know 20 yards? 20 yards?
Roll it back, K. Lou. Let me see if I see what coverage.
It was like a downfield tunnel screen.
It's a screen.
Downfield tunnel.
They're cover 2 again, and they're playing it off. It's like off cover 2.
Give it to the guy who can run a 4.2.
If you remember,
lined up in it already, MB.
Yeah.
Hey, if you remember, Andy Reid's been running this play since 5 years ago when starting Alex Smith was. Kansas City needed a touchdown before halftime, and they only had the same thing, like 30 seconds left, and they ran that exact play.
He caught it on the
Charles
30.
Tyreek. I'm gonna look up that play.
45. He added 15 yards after catch.
Like, how unbelievable was that? Like, that first down, I was like, they got a chance.
25 yards.
After thinking they had, none, then you don't kick it on the ground. I was like,
Right.
boy, I wonder will they regret not putting it on the ground? Just that thought.
Yep.
And then when this first down, I was like, what they said? That boy can kick from 60 yards?
Right.
That's what's crazy. It's 7 seconds right there. If they would have kicked that on the ground, you would have been down to 2 seconds.
Yep.
He's Hail Mary at that point. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
But K-Lou, like the kicker, he was inconsistent.
Yeah.
He missed the
Right,
field.
because he missed one earlier.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And then MB play.
He got him an extra 5 yards on that.
I mean, even the safety, right? Like, you're not understanding. Like, right now, okay, we're giving a sticks call, and what up? Well,
Yep.
So it's a backward sticks call in the sense of this, right?
Okay.
You got 8 seconds left. You understand where they need to go to get the field goal. So now you're telling them, hey, front end, you get in front of the sticks. The back safety, go ahead and line up.
On the field,
maybe 5 yards before the field goal. You feel what I'm saying? Wherever that danger line is. All right. And then, but look how deep that safety is. Like, once you let it play and he throws.
Yeah, he out the picture.
Yeah, he's and it's cool for him to be out the picture, but look how far. Look, he's still on. Look, they're going.
He's on the 28.
Both of them.
Like,
This guy's on the 20.
Right. This guy's too deep. He should be right there on that target line. That should be a stick call for the deep end. You be right there, and then you back up a little bit if you start getting threatened. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just, especially with 8 seconds to go. How much? This is this is it. They can get a play and call timeout.
God, he just
That's the
put
Red
his
Sea.
career. He put his career on going for the sideline.
That's the Red Sea right there.
MB.
That parted like that.
Yo.
So you mentioned 2-man. Isn't that also what they played when Buffalo ended up scoring? The touchdown right before this.
I don't think so. You talking about to the left where they got?
Yeah, when he ended up coming catching it on the middle on top of the safety.
Where which one? The one is two of them. Is one where to the left, right, and the corner fell down.
Yeah, he broke his ankle.
Right,
he broke his ankle.
Yeah.
So I thought that was more of a cover 3 right
okay,
there.
no. So
cover 3 or cover 4.
No. So it's the one where he caught it deeper then, right? And the one where they caught it in the middle. 13 caught it in the middle of the end zone.
13 for you talking about Pringle for
Davis.
Davis.
Yeah,
Davis.
Yeah, for Buffalo.
I think
I'm gonna
it
see
was.
if I can find it.
Go ahead and find it. Because I was trying to figure out. I know one coverage where he got behind the safety. It looked like a cover 4. The corner was there. I don't know.
I thought Mahomes' best throw was the first touchdown of the game, where he rolled out into the coverage.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen something like. I mean, that was pure Montana at that point, and he just chucked it up.
His best throw was that sidearm underneath the defender's arm. I mean, if we're gonna
that's the kid from Miami who picked him earlier this year.
Was it?
Rousseau. Yeah. That was the kid who tipped it and picked it on him. The rookie.
Didn't get that one.
Yeah.
Levi Wallace is out of Alabama, by the way. He has just finished out his rookie deal. He's going to have some tough negotiating coming up after that last play. But the 2 interception a year guy looks like he's the guy they go after. Who's opposite him? Because he's definitely the guy they go after on the Bills defense.
Well, Tre'Davious White, they're starting quarterback.
Yeah, he's out. Yeah, I mean, he tore his ACL.
They could have used
it. They need one corner.
Let me ask you a question. As K-Lou picked that, right, what y'all think about Aaron Rodgers in the sense of, do you think he's going to stay? Do you think he's going to go? And if he goes, what team you think could be, i.e., like Tampa Bay did with Brady?
San Francisco.
So, oh yeah, you talked about
San Francisco.
That was me. I was like, yep, he's gonna right that wrong.
He wants to go. He wants to go home. I don't know if they'll let him back in. I see him following Brady to Tampa if Brady retires.
Brady ain't hanging it up. Not after that.
I thought about the Raiders, but I don't think he wants to see Herbert and Mahomes twice a year.
You thought about who?
The Raiders, maybe.
Yeah.
But I don't think he needs to see.
How about this? How about the Tennessee Titans?
Woo. I think,
I mean, they got a short window. You got Derrick Henry, you got AJ Brown, you got Julio Jones. All of them got, obviously it's a tight window, but he definitely say he don't want to rebuild,
Right.
And off of this situation, I mean, with Tannehill and how he 3 interceptions, how he played, I mean, I would trade some first round picks to get Aaron Rodgers because you winning now,
And they'll be more trade friendly to Tennessee than they will San Fran.
Right.
Yeah.
Why not go to Dallas if you're him and trade him to Dallas?
Oof. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That may. Yeah.
What about
Dallas won't do it.
Pittsburgh's in line. I would have said New Orleans, but now they're saying Sean Payton's out of here. He's retiring.
Yeah, New Orleans has been good. To me, New Orleans would be like Tampa in the sense they got a great defense.
And you got Kamara.
They got Michael Thompson.
And you got a running back.
I don't think Green Bay is going to send him anywhere in the NFC, just like they did with Favre. They basically had a no NFC rule.
Who has
because Favre went to the Jets. Went to Minnesota.
But would it have to be a trade? Because he's 46. They're 46 million over the cap.
Right.
So does it have to be a trade? Is the question.
It does. And that doesn't count Devontae Adams' numbers. Think about that.
You said,
million,
does it have
not
to be a
counting
trade?
Devontae Adams.
Does it have to be? They got one more year.
Or what would be the other options?
Would they have to release? Could be
right. I mean, because he's 44. They're over the cap. Now he's like got a cap number 44 million. His cap number, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
You're right. They're like 40 something over the thing, and he's like his cap number for next year is 44.
Yeah, that's what he renegotiated to get out of it.
He did that so he can get a way out if he needs to.
If they don't let him go in the NFC and he has to go to AFC, I think Tennessee. You might be right. I think Vrabel. I think that could be the coach. You got the D. You got all the weapons on offense. You walk right in.
Kind of weak.
Yeah.
I mean, that division's not that strong.
Yeah.
You got Derrick Henry.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, so I mean, you got a running game because what happened? You saw. I mean, shoot, what's his name? San Francisco and them knocking Dylan out the game, fractures ribs. That running. I mean, that makes a big difference.
Look at that smile on David with that.
Yeah.
You got a more politically friendly city too to his immunized, whatever game he played.
You're old Rocky Top, man.
He likes music. Nashville. He's probably he can do some music.
Yep.
Yeah. He can do his commercials.
Yeah.
All right. So
what about Indianapolis? What about Indianapolis? Come hang out with us, but you can't discount his friendship with Pat McAfee. Those are the two best friends. They're very best friends. So
my concern about Indianapolis is I worry about their receiving core.
Right. That's what I'm saying. They will have to. They
but
will
that
have
ain't
to
gonna be
sign
it.
somebody.
But they got the running back to figure that out.
Yeah, but that's not Aaron Rodgers' call. You got to think. Remember, Jim Irsay was not happy, and he had some pretty strong comments about Carson Wentz.
He's not happy at all.
Yeah, if there's an owner that's going to go out and pay to get an Aaron Rodgers because they know they missed last offseason on getting somebody, going to the Colts might be what makes it happen.
But yet though, if they make that move, right, and I mean he's got all the power still. I don't know if he got a no trade clause in his thing or not. I'm sure he does, right?
I don't think he does.
I'm sure he does, especially the way he had them renegotiate his contract. I'm sure he's gonna. Because he had them, remember he had 2 years left on this deal.
Yeah.
He restructured for one. So I'm sure he put a no trade clause in there so he could dictate which team he goes to. But still, in spite of that, he's also playing it cool. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I could retire, I could, move forward. You know what I'm saying? So he's got power in his hand.
Hey,
and the coach, you're not going to make that type of investment into him and him not be happy, meaning you're going to show, okay, we're going to get some playmaker. We got the running game, obviously. The receivers like Hilton is old. You got to get some playmakers around him. You got the offensive line. The defense is good, but they got to get some playmakers around him. You know,
he doesn't have another trade clause. I just looked it up.
he doesn't.
Somehow he don't have one.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
Okay,
Like,
but
why doesn't he? But
then that's cool. But to me, he's got the power because he can retire.
I think he would want to go to Indianapolis. I do.
But I'm with D because I thought of God's my witness. I thought about that, but I was like, who's the playmakers that they could surround him with? They would have to get other guys and fortunately for them, like the list of free agency, right? Like receiver to me is the strongest part. You know, you're gonna have OBJ. You're gonna have the guy Robinson from Chicago.
What about the Broncos?
Devontae Adams. Well, I'm sure if they get rid of Rodgers, they're gonna franchise Devontae Adams.
Franchise tag him.
Yeah, they're not gonna let him go.
Does Denver have the talent to surround him? Even though they're
so. I mean, they got some young receivers, but to me, I guess I'm looking at it since Brady already, hit a home run when he left the New England. I'm thinking, and then the Aaron Rodgers statement is like, I don't want to rebuild. I'm just trying to look at it from that standpoint, which is the
turnkey
most ready team, team out there that's ready to go. Huh?
San Francisco.
They won't
I
send
don't
him.
even know about San Francisco, man, because who?
I think it's Tennessee.
Like receivers, who they have other than
Debo, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle.
Yeah, Kittle.
Oh, George Kittle. Yeah, that's right.
They got a running game. They got Trent Williams on the offensive line.
Yeah.
Right guard. They got a defense.
Yeah, and then he's 0-4 against them in the playoffs. So he competed for Kevin Durant.
Green Bay, before the draft last year, he wanted to go to San Francisco. He thought he was getting traded to San Francisco.
Right,
that's where he went to college, was Berkeley.
Yeah, he's from California. Yeah. He thought he was going to get traded to San Francisco.
If you look at every team in the league, all right, the ones that didn't make the playoffs, the best team that didn't make the playoffs is Indianapolis. But I say that to say, before week 17, they were going to the playoffs, and everybody thought that was the team nobody wanted to play. So, I mean, I get what you're saying, but I don't think Indianapolis is as far off as we think. And I think they pretty much know that. I mean, look, they put a hurting on Buffalo. I mean, Indianapolis beat some real teams this year, and at times looked like a real team themselves. So they beat Tennessee this year.
Yeah, they played down to their competition. Their quarterback didn't help them at all. Obviously, didn't help them at all. I think they might lose their defensive coordinator, though. I think he's up for Chicago or one of Denver or Chicago. He's a finalist for one of those two. I agree with you, MB. I think Tennessee would be a great place for him to go if they get rid of Tannehill. And I think, are they starting to talk about that at least? Or
I'm sure. I mean, it's going to be hard just because of the contract they gave him. But I'm just throwing it out as whatever. I mean, now, based on how he ended, obviously, if you get Aaron Rodgers, it makes sense. But I don't know, like Jason. My only concern, like I said, I looked at the Colts and I thought about them. But my concern, when you look at their skill positions, you got Michael Pittman at receiver, T.Y. Hilton, who's going to be a free agent, Paris Campbell. I mean, to me, it's like when Brady left New England to go to Tampa, I'm kind of I'm comparing to that. I mean, the skill position, it was just add water. You had Mike Evans, Pro Bowl receiver. You had Goodwin, who was like on the rise. Then you had the tight end. You had
Jay Howard. You had Brady
Bretman, right?
But a team that hadn't made the playoffs in 10 years.
Well, was it 10 years? I don't know.
But
I'm just saying though,
15 years.
So I'm looking for that. I'm looking for that type of dynamic. Like, okay, if that's the standard, who else? With Rodgers, who else could he go to that would make them a Super Bowl contender?
Does he wind up in Miami with the Dolphins?
I just don't think he got enough. I don't know. I mean, but Indianapolis he go is going to be a significant upgrade. But I'm saying, which one will he go to where you like, man?
Tennessee.
This would be
Indianapolis plus two weapons.
Huh? Yeah, Indianapolis, like I said, they need some weapons. That's my only concern with Indianapolis. You got the run game, you got a great defense, but they would have to say, okay, we need to bring a skilled receiver with them or two, which I said from the beginning in this free agency, the strongest position offensively is the receiver and pass catching tight end. So
Jim Irsay will go get it. Jim Irsay I think Jim Irsay and Pat McAfee is going to have a lot more to do.
Just a quick note on New Orleans before y'all leave that fact. I'm gonna tell you,
I like New Orleans too.
I like New Orleans. I think Sean Payton might end up in Dallas though.
Yeah, that's what they're talking about.
They're finally getting around to that, huh?
Because he lives in Dallas. I think he lives in Dallas. Matter of fact.
Yeah, he lives in Dallas, and then he's committal if he's coming back for season. I think they say he got 3 years left on his deal. So he's
Could he revitalize Dak? Is that all Dak needs? Is a Sean Payton?
Yeah, I mean,
take him to the next level.
Definitely a better scheme. I mean, he made Taysom Hill look like something for a little while.
Oh yeah, I mean, Sean Payton is a genius. You know, it's just now Dallas they're gonna have some tough salary cap issues. You know, just because they got issues as well. But no, he's definitely well, shoot, man. I mean, he's definitely be an upgrade. I'm a huge Payton fan. You know,
of all these landing spots, who's the most under the cap?
Jacksonville, right?
He's not going
there.
As
far as what you talking about potential
money
for Rodgers?
Like if they add the right person, they go Super Bowl. Is that what you're talking about?
No, the cap, just the cap.
I think it might be Jacksonville.
Yeah, I'm sure Jacksonville would. Hold on, I'll tell you right now.
No, I said landing spots for Rodgers. Who's in the best cap situation?
Okay, that's what I was asking.
If the 49ers get rid of Jimmy G.
Oh, it looks like right now.
What about your Panthers, man?
We wouldn't. They won't go. He won't go in the NFC, bro. He ain't going in the NFC.
I know. I agree.
Right now, cap space right now. The Dolphins with 70 million.
Oh my God.
Jacksonville got 59. Bengals 59. Chargers 58.
Colts going away. $85.8 million under the cap.
Wow.
They're buying everybody.
They can go buy whatever receiver he wants.
Hold on.
Oh, they're going to go get Jerry Rice out of the garage. What's T.O. doing? Yeah. $85 million under the cap, and that's not even counting getting Carson Wentz off the books. They'll trade him for a fifth rounder.
Where you get that from?
I got Indianapolis number 7.
Who you got? Who you got? 85. The highest one I got cap space is the Dolphins with 70.
Yeah, I got Dolphins with 70.
Overthecap.com.
StampedBlue.com says after signing the entire 21, the Colts will sit around 123.5 in liabilities, which leaves them with 85.9 million of cap space for 2022.
Yeah, I got them cap space for the Colts. They got 40,000 at the cap spending, unless I'm reading this wrong.
No, I got Colts at number 7 with 42.
Yeah, that's why I got 40.
42.9 in Seattle. Oh, Seattle has cap space.
That was that last year, or is that going into this year?
That may have been going into this year. Yeah, that may have been going.
I got for cap space for 2020. Cap space calculated team salary cap minus added cap spending minus dead money team salary.
It says Carson Wentz counts 28.2 against the cap, but he's got a 15 cap hit. So you'd free up 15, get rid of Carson. So that puts you at 65.
New Orleans is 71 million over the cap. Jesus.
God.
That's why he's going.
Yeah, they got the most. And then the Packers are second. The Cowboys are third over the cap. The Vikings is fourth. Now, that's another team I thought would be great for Aaron, but obviously
they won't do that again.
Yeah, exactly. It's the Vikings. I mean, you put him with the Vikings. I mean, with those two receivers they got, and then the running back, you know.
I tell you, the Giants to be so far over the cap, man, and the Vikings, I mean, to be getting so little back.
I know. God, the Giants are $7 million over the cap right now.
They talk about Kirk Cousins coming to Carolina.
Don't do that, man. Why do we have to keep? We've suffered enough. But hey, seriously, if they're 40-something over, if Carson you get 15, that's 65. You can pay Rodgers, get a couple of receivers. Jim Irsay will do it, and Pat McAfee will make him do it. I'm just saying. I think Indy will be the most willing trade partner out of everybody, and they'll give all the right answers to that Green Bay front office.
I still find it amazing DeHaven's Jimmy G's going to win 2 more games.
DeHaven's still trying to trade.
DeHaven's
still trying to get rid of
Carson Wentz is going to be next year. You watch.
Carson Wentz is
Jimmy just boosting his trade value. That's good.
The 49ers should be after Carr. Go get him.
Nah, we good with Trey, but if Eric wants to come, we'll take him.
We good with Trey.
So I guess
What a
we
vote of
close on
confidence.
this. So you guys think so DeHaven, go ahead, be the GM. So how would that work?
I think you pitched Trey Lance that is Aaron Rodgers sat behind somebody for 3 years.
2-year apprenticeship, yeah.
Yeah, a 3 year. He's 21 years of age. You'll have him 2 more years on his rookie deal, even if Aaron Rodgers came for 2 more seasons, right? Because you have a 5th-year option on a rookie deal. So you'll at least get 2 years of Trey starting. I'd say Aaron Rodgers come in on a 2-year deal, ride this thing out with your dream team, teach this young guy, even though Brett Favre wasn't a mentor to you like that, but I think Trey Lance got a good head on the shoulder. He'll be 23 or 24 when he starts.
Yeah, but
let me ask you this question. Why would Aaron Rodgers want to leave Green Bay in the same thing with Jordan Love and go to the same situation with San Francisco?
Because Embiid's 39 years old. He probably only has 2 real good I mean, he's weighing about retirement now.
He thinks he's Brady.
I don't know. Brady's can play possibly to 45. Why would he not keep going?
DeHaven, what you're forgetting though, man, Green Bay's going to ask for Trey. It's a trade, not a release.
I don't think they'll ask for it. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
would they have to release Aaron Rodgers though? I'm not giving up Trey Lance.
Yeah, okay. Well, hey, then they just hung up. They just hung up.
I could have had Matt Jones.
Yeah. I think they're going to give because I think they saw enough of Jordan Love. So, and nobody thinks Carson Wentz is great, but like K. Lou used to say, if you want to die, come back as a first-round pick. Everybody's going to have that I can fix him mentality. The most likely is they're going to be like, we can win with Carson Wentz. We'll give us a first. Here's Aaron. We'll take Carson. Contracts off the books. I don't know. Or they'll take Trey.
But that was their mistake taking Jordan Love, though. They really needed a receiver in that draft, and it goes back to 2 years ago. I think Rex Ryan said that this morning. That was a huge mistake not getting him help when they were so close.
Right.
What show was Aaron Rodgers live on when that pick happened? Pat McAfee. So
Pat McAfee. Oh, okay.
And they've rewound it 100 times since. So I'm telling you, I feel like, but if it's San Fran, that's all they're gonna get Trey Lance.
They ain't giving up Trey Lance now. We ain't taking.
They're gonna get Trey Lance. You can just go ahead and sell that jersey because that's gonna be collectible.
Garoppolo just beat him in the Tundra. They can have Garoppolo.
They don't want him.
Do San Fran have a first-round pick next year?
No, we don't have the next 2 for Trey Lance. We traded the next 2.
So what's your draft capital? How you going to make it happen?
Next 2. If it's got to be a trade, we can't get him. And LaFleur won't trade him to the 49ers.
You can trade Elijah Mitchell for Charlie Garner.
Huh?
You can trade Charlie Garner.
No, I think Tennessee would obviously be the best landing spot for him. Tennessee would be great. Tennessee.
Yeah, Tennessee. And then, like I said, the Colts, if they guaranteed to get some playmakers around them, that's the thing. You got the running game, but you got to get some receivers. They got to get some, and there's some receivers out there that can make this happen, And
how many first-round picks Indy got?
What's that?
Indy should have a lot of draft capital, right?
No, Michael. I think some of theirs went to the Eagles for Carson Wentz. It was based on playing time.
They traded third.
They gave up a first and a third.
Yeah, it was based on playing time, right? He played.
Yeah, first and a third.
Yeah,
that's right. They did.
But they've got a round 1. They do have a first-round pick.
Do they?
They don't. It says here they do. So they must have got a 1 from somebody at some other point
and traded that.
Yeah, but they don't have a third. So there goes that third they gave for Carson, I guess.
But you talking about Aaron Rodgers? You got to at least give up 2-3 first-round picks.
If Houston's asking for 3 for Deshaun,
that's the going.
That's the rate.
Yeah, but like I said, a pick or trade for Aaron Rodgers, trade for you put what you think about Russell Wilson? I mean, trade for those guys. You got to say, man, we're Super Bowl ready. He's there. They are the missing ingredient. So I guess we can close on this. Who's most likely? Who's most likely to go or stay or whatever you want to say based on this quarterback musical chairs? Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Tannehill,
Can I say one thing though?
Yeah, go ahead.
Michael Thomas, somebody mentioned him. the number one projected landing spot for Michael Thomas?
What?
It's
Indianapolis?
the Colts. It's the Colts. I'm not a Colts fan,
Yeah.
man. I swear.
Yeah, but I'm just saying though.
Yeah.
We're saying, to me, he don't want to rebuild, so you got to make sure you put bring some playmakers with him. You got the running game, you got the defense, you have the offensive lineman. They just need some better skill positions around.
You think Seattle's finally going to trade Russell?
I don't think so. I think the way they ended the season was really positive, and he was hurt. I think they'll run it back one more time because he has 2 years left, right, in this deal.
I think so.
And if it doesn't work next year, then I think he's out of, then I think they get something for
There's very few above him that's an upgrade. I mean, that's,
right. Well, they could go into rebuild.
Yeah, they're not going to do rebuild, not with
Can Rodgers go to Seattle?
Age. Huh?
Can Rodgers go to Seattle?
And they already hit rebuild. They already hit that button once, Yeah, I mean, you look at the skill positions. I don't know if
Metcalf.
the defense is there yet, but you got Metcalf and you got Tyler Lockett.
And I followed him close because they're the rival. Rashad Penny started coming on at the end of the year. I mean,
he looked good.
He looked
really good.
But for me, that's a tough division. I mean, right now,
right.
by this weekend, the NFC West.
That's right.
You going in there.
They beat us all the time, though. So.
That's a tough division, man. I wouldn't do it if Rodgers.
I think if Rodgers could choose, probably
he will. Trust me. He in this position, even though, like you say, he don't have no trade.
Right.
He's going to dictate if where they trade him. I think to some degree.
If not, he's going to go host Jeopardy. I mean, that's.
But you can't discount though that he's very best friends with Pat McAfee. And the impact that would have if he went to Tennessee. Look it up, man. He's on his show twice a week.
Yeah, he is.
No, and we're not denying that.
Yeah,
but he don't want to rebuild. All I'm saying, and I told you that was one of my teams to put him at, but they got to upgrade at the skill position. And like I said, this is the year to do it because you got a lot of free agents as far as the receivers and pass catchers that they can easily make that fix.
Does he want Frank Reich or does he want Vrabel? Vrabel ain't gonna leave him alone and say, "Go run your offense, do whatever you want." Frank Reich wants to call plays.
I don't know.
Does he want play call?
I think Frank Reich, he'll do what it takes.
Yeah.
But, come on, let's partner up, man. This is a partnership, just right. Like Bruce Arians and Brady.
And Brady, right?
I would think Brady set the standard. He set the blueprint on. Okay, this is how you leave, and this is how you transition and go win it again. So for me, if I'm Roger agent, if they're leaving, I'm looking for those type of situations. Difference is obviously. Brady, he was unrestricted, so nobody had to trade for him or nothing like that. But still, I mean, one thing we got, Aaron Rodgers got leverage. He got power. He flexed his muscles last year, set out of camp, made him bring in his homeboy Cos, made him do some things, So they definitely been kissing up to him, and he came out on the record saying that the relationship is so much better, So we'll see what happens,
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see.
I don't know. I'm just thinking from a business brand standpoint, there's something to be said for being that Green Bay quarterback and never leaving, playing for one team. To this day, I still think it hurt Favre.
Yeah,
I think it took a little edge off his legacy.
So you think he'll stay?
No, I don't think he will, but that one thing I'll say for Marino is he never made that mistake because there was definitely some years in the end where he talked about going back to Pittsburgh or something like that.
But if it would have got him a ring, you think he would have go back and do it?
If what?
Yeah. If you asked Dan if it would have got him a ring, he probably would have. Peyton went to Denver,
Got him a ring.
Yeah.
I think Aaron wants to match that Mount Rushmore of Manning did it first, went somewhere else to get a ring. Brady went somewhere else to get his other ring. I feel like that's part of the trophy case is getting a ring with two different teams. And I think Aaron sees that and wants that.
Fair enough.
Could be definitely possible.
We gonna do picks for the games?
Oh, okay. Go ahead. What you got, bro?
I think it's Chiefs Rams Super Bowl. What we should have had a couple years ago.
Chiefs Rams.
Who you got? Double A.
Yeah.
I'll second that. I'll go that Chief Rams. I know
That's the most logical. You go ahead, DeHaven.
No, I'll go Chief Rams because I'll never go for the 49ers because I jinxed it.
Right, but we know what that means.
So I'm going to take the dogs in both. I'm going to go Bengals 49ers. I'm looking for that old school 1981, man. You know, that original. One of my first Super Bowls.
Me, Kevin inherited the hurt.
That'll be
Kenny Anderson, man. Come on.
Yeah.
26-21, Pontiac Silverdome.
Crazy, man. All right,
That'd be
fellas,
wild.
I appreciate y'all, man, coming on. Y'all have a great week, man. Lord willing, we'll see you next week. Let's do it. Get it done, baby.
Peace.
All right, from sideline to baseline, we out. Peace. All right, look, guys, we just thank you